eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use.
What's going on, boys and girls? It's Angus coming at you, and today I'm going to be rocking out with something I haven't done in a little while, and that is a sick recipe video. So as you would have seen from the thumbnail, I'm going to be making today some hashtag keto banana bread. This stuff is sick. The reason why it's called keto banana bread is because it's fucking loaded with carbs and lots of protein, and coming in at under 200 calories per slice. So you're going to be able to make 8 decently thick slices of banana bread by following this recipe. It's got lots of fiber, lots of protein, lots of everything. It's absolutely glorious. I'm so happy with it. It's something that doesn't taste dry when you cook it, meaning that you can eat it just hot and fresh as it is, or you can have it as like a dessert like I do with a bit of peanut butter or some ice cream. But either way, it's just awesome, because in comparing this to, say for example, normal store-bought banana bread, which is like 300 calories plus, or actual keto banana bread, which has got a shitload of fat, loaded with calories as well. Obviously it's got lots of nutrients and stuff, but keep in mind that when it comes to body composition, it's overall calories that matter the most anyway, and then obviously a certain amount of nutrients and stuff to make sure you're getting in enough fiber and that sort of stuff. So, but anyway, so this recipe is sick. It's a full video footage based recipe, so it's going to show quantities and stuff like that, and cool over bird's eye view footage of me rocking it out, chefing it up in the kitchen. So get excited, and any questions in terms of substitutes for different ingredients, just comment below. Otherwise, may the banana bread gains be with you. Let's head to the kitchen. So legend, welcome to the voiceover. So I'm going to be walking you through the ingredients that we're using. So we've got bananas, as you can see they're overripe. These are perfect for making a recipe like this. 3 large ones, which basically equals 285 grams. And we've got whey protein concentrate. This is from Bulk Nutrients. 40 grams. Obviously, if you don't have this protein, you can use whatever protein you have, which will naturally play a bit of an impact in terms of the overall calories, but that's all good. Baking powder, I didn't bother tracking that in this recipe because it's got such few calories. Same as these sweeteners, which is basically to add more sweeten, and so more sweet flavoring for no calories. We've got honey, 30 grams of natural honey, and then plain flour. This is God's gift to man, so good. 120 grams of that. You're going to be using 2 large eggs, just normal ones, free range, cage, whatever team you bat for, and then blitzed up oats, so kind of rolled. 100 grams of that. Now when it comes to us rocking with how to make this beast, so when it comes to this recipe, you'll see that we're going to be using the bananas first. This is a means of just mashing them. Once you go about using your bowl, so mash it up with a fork. I guess you could blitz this up if you're that lazy, but hey, it's up to you. When it comes to this, all I did was just use a fork, so that way the banana it's kind of all, not necessarily runny, but you want to have it so it's good consistency, because this is going to be, I guess, the main wet ingredient. It's going to help bind everything together alongside the eggs. So basically that right there is the consistency that you want. Then it's time to add in your sweetener. So this is basically just, I think I got this one on special for cheap from Woolies. It was like 132 sachets for like $5 or $6, so it's lasted me ages so far. But whatever no calorie or low calorie sweetener you want to use, this is what's going to help to make this banana bread not taste like cardboard and make it have as much taste as possible. Then we're going to add baking powder. So I basically weighed this. This is probably about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon, because this is what's going to help your banana bread to rise and not be flat as a pancake, like what I've made the mistake in the past before when I've forgotten to add baking powder, or when you don't have plain flour. And then when it comes to your protein, you're going to be using 40 grams, remember, so 1 full scoop and a little bit. So that way, this is what's obviously going to contribute to this recipe having a shitload of protein in its per serve content. But they're going to be measuring out the oats. So with the oats, this is something that basically is what's going to contribute massively to the carbs. Remember that you're going to be using about 100 grams, so spread it out right through the bowl, so that way it's nice and even and not just in one clump, because you want to make sure there's oats in every part of, well, I guess each bite when it comes to eating it. I can't tell you how many dodgy banana breads I've made in the past before, so these tips that I'm sharing with you here are my hacks to make it taste awesome. The plain flour, remember that you're going to be using about 120 grams of this. If you do have self-raising flour, then remember that you don't need to add any baking powder. this is me obviously just editing the weight of the ingredients as I'm going through it. Now we're going to be adding in the eggs. Remember that this is going to play its part in binding all the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients together and contribute to it having some fat content, which is obviously really important. We don't just want to be only eating fats or only eating carbs or whatever. The idea of how I've made this recipe is that it's got a decent spread of protein, carbohydrates and fat per serving. Then we're going to be adding in some honey. So this is some honey that I got once again from special from Woolies. Really tasty. Obviously if you've got some raw or organic honey, whatever it is that you want to use, go for gold. This is just, I basically just got this one because it had the lowest calories out of the ones I saw at the shops. So now, boys and girls, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting our baking tray or bake pan, whatever you call this thing, ready. So what I basically do is I use some baking paper. I fold it so it takes up, as you'll see here, the overall length of the tray. So that way when it's in, it's actually going to cover the whole bottom. And then press it in so that way all the areas are covered, and if you wanted to you could put a strip up the other way as well, but I'm just going to spray it with some no calorie spray so that way it doesn't stick and it has no calories either. So happy fucking days there. Now what you're going to be doing is use a spatula, I think it's called, or an egg slice, I can't remember the technical term, but whatever this little rubber thing's called, so that way you can get all the mixture in. Make sure that you spread it evenly across the bottom. So that way, once again, it's going to ensure that your banana bread is fairly even in terms of how it bakes, and it means that yeah, it's all just safe and sound. And then make sure you got a little bit left in the bowl so that yourself or your pet can lick it.
Wait, boy. This your poor boy. Okay.
So, can confirm the mixture tastes amazing. Now what we're going to be doing is this oven, you're going to be presetting it for 160 fan forced, and you're going to be setting it into the, you ideally shouldn't put it at the very top shelf, but because there was all those trays in there, that's why I put it at the top. And you're going to be bombing it in for 35 minutes. Make sure that you check in on it on about the 30-ish minute mark or so, depending on your oven. You should have a skewer in, but for me this was the sweet spot and it turned out awesome. And then when you're going to be chopping it, chop it up into 8 slices. Use I guess a knife that's sharp, so that way it does the trick and you're ready to eat and get amongst the keto banana bread gains. And boom, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that recipe video. Obviously, if you give this a try, make sure to tag myself in it, or just, hit me up on social, tag me. I'd love to see your creation. Tag me, do it for the burgers, and that way I can see your creation. All right. Really enjoyed this recipe video. This is something that I've made about 4 times now, I think, in terms of just refining it and stuff to make it absolutely perfect. So I really hope that you enjoy it yourself if you make it. Keep in mind that it's all about the oven as well, because sometimes I've actually undercooked it or burnt it. So I found the sweet spot for my electric oven is 160 fan force for about 35 minutes. So as long as you keep an eye on it and stick your skewer in it and stuff, you should be good. And yeah, really hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you're a returning subscriber and whatever of the channel, make sure you give us a like and a comment, so that way this video gets seen by more people. If you're new to the channel and you haven't been following me before, make sure you click subscribe so you can check out all my other sick videos. Hit me up on social as well at my links below. Would love to share in your journey and you can share in mine. You'll see more of my dog as well, who's a little whinger. He's whinging, bless his heart, and yeah, hope to share more of it in your journey. Peace out, thanks for watching, see you next time in the YouTube world.